Good morning, boys and girls. It's Tuesday, April 14th. Hope everyone enjoyed your Easter break. It was nice to have some days off and not have to think about school for a while. And we kind of had a roller coaster of weather from being super nice to today and yesterday being pretty darn cold outside. Easter Sunday was pretty miserable. I pretty much just hung out watching movies with my family, did a little bit of baking, and also put together my pantry shelves because I told you last week that I had painted them. So I finally got everything back in my pantry and organized instead of sitting all on tables in my living room. Yesterday I took a little bit of time to clean out some of my kitchen drawers. So I don't have a hat for today, even though I have one I could put on. Instead I have a tool that I found that I'm not even sure what this is for. I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. Looks like a little spoon of some sort. And I have no idea why I even own this. I don't even know what it's for. But you can either make a guess of what you think it is, or if one of your parents has one of these, maybe ask them, what is this for? Because otherwise Mrs. Wishart is getting rid of it, since I have not obviously needed it in the last 20 years. It was great to see so many of you at that parade up at the school parking lot last week. I was really amazed at how many people turned out for that, and it was so fun to see you guys either wave out the window or through your sunroof. And I got to tell you, it was a little bit of an emotional roller coaster because I was so excited to see your faces, but the minute after you went by, I actually had tears going down my face a little bit just because I miss that we're not together as a class. I just wanted to give you a couple reminders. We have the drop off and pickup this week on Friday. So on Thursday, I'll send home a message to your parents, an email telling you what you need to be turning in this Friday. Just be really great if you're just keeping all your finished work, either leave it in the workbook until you tear it out or putting the sheets right back into the bag that we sent it home in. And then today, you have a few things that you'll be going over. I just want to give you a couple reminders. Today in language, you're going to be talking about synonyms and antonyms. We've talked about that before, and I know that all of you remember that synonym starts with an S and same starts with an S. And so whenever we're looking for synonyms, we want to look for words that have the same meaning. Like these right here, I have cool, chilly, and freezing. They could all be used to describe something that maybe is very cold to you. Antonyms, of course, are the opposites. And if you look here, warm, hot, and steamy, those really are the opposites of the words that you see over here. So today you'll be doing an assignment coming up with words that have the same meaning, synonyms, and the opposite meaning of words, antonyms. In science, you're going to be talking about the different layers of the atmosphere, how we measure temperature in weather using a thermometer, and also about air pressure. Now, air pressure is an interesting thing, and I bet a lot of you have experienced it. If you've gone up in an elevator or down in an elevator in a really tall building, or even taking off in an airplane or landing in an airplane, sometimes your ears get all plugged up and you might have to hold your nose and blow out to try to pop them. Or even if you've driven up in the Rocky Mountains before, either going up high in altitude or coming down that mountain, a lot of times you get that plugged up feeling in your ears, and that's due to a change in the air pressure. So you'll be reading about that in science a little bit more today. And then in math, we are going to continue measuring, and this time we're going to be talking about perimeter. Now, when you want to know the perimeter of something, you're only measuring how far it is around the outside edges of it. And so, I have a little sheet here that I want to take a look at. This first one that is on here, I have this rectangle, and if you count, you don't want to pay attention to these squares that are in the inside. Instead, we're talking about the space around the outside. So what I like to do is mark the corner that I'm going to start at, because this really helps you keep track when you are counting. The next thing I do is I count how many units it takes to go all the way around the outside of the shape. And I like to make little dashes to keep track so I don't lose my place. So if I start out that X and I go down, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gets me all the way around the outside of the shape from the X I started at back to the X again. So because I don't know what those are, we're just going to call them units. If you ever have a shape and you're measuring the perimeter and you don't know what to measure it in, just call them units. Now right below it, I have a triangle. And you'll notice that the sides are actually labeled with measurements. 3 centimeters for the 2 sides and 4 centimeters for the bottom side. All I have to do is add those up. 4 plus 3 is 7, plus 3 more is 10. So the distance around that triangle, the perimeter is 10 centimeters. Now the next one is a square. And you notice that only one side is labeled. We know that squares have all 4 sides the same. So it might be helpful if you see a square with just one side to go ahead and label the other sides with a measurement of 2. Now, the other thing you could do, because you know multiplication, you could have just multiplied 2 times 4 different sides, and that gives us a total of 8 inches to go around the outside perimeter of that shape. And then the bottom one, the rectangle, again, we only have the top and the bottom labeled with a measurement of 5 centimeters and 2 centimeters. So when I go ahead and put them down, the bottom's going to be the same as the top on a rectangle, and the opposite sides are going to be the same. So 5 plus 5 is 10, and 2 plus 2 is 4. I add those together for a total of 14 centimeters. And that will help you finding the perimeter. Now, on to our question of the day. What is your favorite holiday? I have to admit, I think that Thanksgiving is probably my favorite one. There's not a lot of hustle and bustle involved with getting ready for it. And when you get together with family on that holiday, it's just really about being together. Not worrying about having to have gifts and things for everybody, but just spending time with your family. The fact of the day, turtles lived on Earth before dinosaurs did. That's interesting. I wonder why turtles survived, but dinosaurs are extinct. And our joke of the day, why wasn't the moon full last night? Because it didn't eat all its dinner. And our advice today, you have to be ready to jump when the rope swings under your feet. If you've ever grabbed onto a rope and went swinging out on it, you got to make sure that it's close by before you go for that grab. I think that also, though, means if things are going on at home or in your life, you got to make sure you really go for it when the opportunity is right to do your best at something. All right, guys, here's to a great week. It's short. We'll talk to you later. Bye.